Run It Studios is the home of the Run Radio podcast and runradio.net, a podcast and station about the relentless, resilient, and innovative types, inspiring strides in life, business, and beyond. Welcome back to the Run Radio podcast. My name is Trina Wilcox. My guest today has a very important job of putting an event together, and that is always a huge undertaking. So welcome, Elyse Riley with Springfield Black Tie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on here.
So tell me a little bit about this event, when it is, and how people can get involved.
So we're the largest LGBTQIA plus fundraiser in Southwest Missouri. And what we do is we provide grants to local nonprofits that serve and provide benefits to the community, the LGBTQIA plus community. And sometimes that's as little as we've provided funding for some swag items for some organizations that otherwise wouldn't be able to afford it for visibility. And we've also helped, I truly believe that we've helped save lives by providing monetary grants to organizations such as the Rare Breed, which helps youth who are unsheltered, AIDS Project of the Ozarks, which provides life-saving medication for people, the Glow Center, the Gay and Lesbian Center of the Ozarks, where we help fund them to make sure that they've got everything that their needs are. They serve people all across the board when it comes down to things like youth groups and having just different things that a community center can offer. The Victim Center, that's a domestic violence shelter. And, there's several others. Last year, we actually had 14 beneficiaries. And there's a community cold weather clinic that is an all gender shelter for people who need to, when it's terribly cold out. So people who otherwise might not feel comfortable going to a different kind of shelter because they might not be allowed in based on how they identify or how they appear to, or they might not feel comfortable going.
How long has this been around?
This is our 22nd year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is our 22nd year. We have raised 1.7 million over the last 22 years or 21 years. And this year, if we can raise 300,000, then we will hit that threshold of 2 million. So that'd be awesome.
Talk about some of the changes that have happened throughout the years and how you've seen it evolve and how the community is benefiting from all of the work that's been put into this.
Yeah, so this started 22 years ago under a gentleman named Randy Donig. And Randy started this organization by it was a lot smaller, so long ago, and they had it in a much smaller location, and they had an idea to raise money to help go to places like the Glow Center. And, they knew that there was a need and they saw a need, and he got together with a group of folks, and they just started throwing this party, and it just started growing and growing ever since. I joined the planning committee about 8 years ago. My wife had joined before I did, and she said, I think this would be a group that you would really enjoy. And I joined the following year, and my wife was like, well, okay. And I took over just volunteering on the planning committee. A couple years later, I was asked to join the board of directors. And then this year I took over as the president of Black Tie. Okay. So, and then over the years, we have changed locations, but we're historically right around the middle of November. And then we have a very large silent auction. Our silent auction and I think our timing is pretty spot on because you can get some really amazing stuff from our silent auction, feel good about donating to our cause, and then have plenty of gifts to give during the Christmas season. So we have a lot of stuff like that. We have a wine poll, and now we are up to, I think, right around 960 attendees.
All right. So do you guys already have everything you need for the silent auction? Are you still needing contributions? Yeah. What all do you sponsors, all the stuff? Tell us what you need.
Yeah. So a lot of the things that we're always looking for stuff to put in our silent auction, even if it's not something that's large, it doesn't have to be. It can be a small gift card. It can be something that, a small decoration, and we have some stuff that we can create, even if you have just something small to give, we can then take that and utilize it in a bag or something like that. We have a local coffee shop that has donated a ton of stuff that goes, their inventory. And so we've had a lot of stuff, and we've had things like wine glasses that are donated, and then we need wine to put in it,
Yeah.
so we'll have different things that we can pair together. But our silent auction, we focus so heavily on sponsorships and selling our tickets that we get to this time in the year and we're like, "Ooh, okay, now we need to really hit the silent auction stuff hard." So, because our silent auction can bring well over $30,000. And so we want to make sure that we get enough stuff, because we also have that expectation where people know that they're going to find some really amazing things in our silent auction. So we're always looking for something big, something small. We do have art, which is great. We have a lot of really amazing and talented artists that donate stuff to us. And so that's always a big help.
And do you still need sponsorships to come in as well?
So we closed our sponsorship opportunities. And the reason is because we don't have any tickets left. So we
Okay.
sold out. I actually, I'm gonna hang my hat on. I'm new, this is my first year as president, but
Yeah.
I did oversell our tickets. And that was because I had a table and a half, basically, that I didn't exactly account for. And then, so sponsorships are closed because we don't have any tickets to offer. But we do have advertising opportunities. I actually have one here where this is our booklet,
Oh, okay.
Springfield. Yeah. So this is where we have, it's kind of like the gay yellow pages. So it's a really cool thing. And it's a cool tool that people ask for throughout the year. This coming event, what we're going to do after the event, any of our leftover black tie booklets that have all of these ads in them, we're going to take them to our local sponsors around town and drop off a couple. So then if somebody wants to have a booklet, then they want to say, a lot of times this is where people go to find out, where should we go to dinner? And they'll open this book and they'll look for the restaurants and see who is a supporter of black tie, because we have so many people that will advertise because they want people to understand, hey, we're a safe place to go to.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so it's a good problem. You're getting support, you've got growth. What's that look like for next year? Are you thinking bigger venue? Are you thinking, let's step it up, or are you
Yeah.
comfortable where you're at? It's a lot for a new president, first year president, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
seems like a good problem to have.
it is definitely a good problem to have. We have explored every year, it seems like, the topic of, do we need to find a bigger space?
Mhm.
Because, even though we sold out so quickly the last 2 years,
Hmm.
that, I mean, the last year we sold out in 9 hours. And then Yeah. And then this year it took over 24, but that's because I didn't know that I should have shut it down, like
Yeah, yeah.
16 tickets ago. And
Wow.
so we technically would have sold out right around the 10th hour. And so it was very, it's, again, amazing problems to have. It's more like, what do we do at this point? Because any of the larger locations there's not enough pipe and drape to cover the space, and it's almost
Mhm.
like they're either so incredibly large or they're just not quite big enough. And
Mhm.
so again, I mean, with volunteers and the committee people and security and things like that, we have probably 1,000 people in attendance. And so
Yeah.
do we really need to fit more people in the
Yeah.
room,
Yeah.
or do we just need to figure out ways to pull more tickets some way, somehow, or do we raise prices? That's not, right now, as I wasn't willing to really do that. We have a planning committee that votes on that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really comfortable with that. And honestly, neither was most of the folks on the planning committee. So we try and keep it an attainable event for people to go to, but at the same time, this is a fundraiser. So
For sure. You said volunteers, and I know any good
Mm.
event has excellent volunteers. They can
Yes.
make or break an event. So, are you set for volunteers? Do you still need more? And how can people help that want to?
We will definitely need volunteers. So we have some of our supporters, some of our sponsors provide us with volunteers. for the event. But it's not, we still have so many different places that we need folks to go to. We need folks to, for pouring wine throughout the night. We need folks for, being runners. We need folks 2 days before and then the day before. We have one thing we're really well known for. We have a floral designer that he's I mean, he's an incredibly talented man that he's flown all over the world to make centerpieces for people's weddings, and he's just incredible. We're very lucky to have him. But they are very intricate and they take time to create and they take time to put together. And so it's a big chunk of our time, which I'm grateful for because, our florist has had Dr. Nancy O'Reilly has always had her a like she donates the money that actually covers all of our floral stuff. It's incredible. So we're very, very lucky in that way. And then Steve does just an incredible job putting it together, but it also takes a lot of hands, unboxing the flowers and making sure that they're going to stay in the type of condition that they need to stay in. And then setting the event up is a lot. We have a lot of things and a lot of hands that are needed. So we're always looking for volunteers. And, since we're sold out, I know that that's one way for folks to get into the room, and we're happy to accommodate for that, to make sure folks can also see. We have a great speaker, V from Under the Desk News. And if we can provide, even a way for folks to get in to help, we have people that help year round. And I know we would really appreciate as many volunteers as we can have sign up.
Okay, and how do they reach out to you to volunteer?
Yeah, so they would go to our website or they can just email me directly. My email for Black Tie, it's springfieldblacktie.org. Um, it's at gmail.com, actually. I'm sorry. We were working on a designated Black Tie emails for all of us. And it's, if I think reaching out, all the information for contact is on the website. And that's the easiest way to get a hold of us because we don't have phone numbers or anything like that we give out. And I would give my phone number out, but I also run a small business.
Yeah.
And so my phone already goes off a lot.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Right.
What's something else you'd like to share about the event? What people can expect, what the vibes like, and a good takeaway for folks watching and listening.
Yeah, so we are Southwest Missouri's premier gala, and we are the most fabulous event of the year. And we always say that we are the most fabulous event of the year. And when we put our event together, this is a gala. Some people come in ball gowns, some people come, we have a lot of tuxedos. So it's black tie. It's definitely a black tie affair. And we have people that go all out. We've had people do wardrobe changes in the middle of the night. And it's a really wonderful time. And, we have a dance floor after the presenter. We have an MC that, we have videos that what we do is we take videos of our beneficiaries and some of the people, and we show how our dollars are impacting our community. And we get tons of positive feedback from that. We have a live auction also. So we have some big ticket items like some trips. We usually have some of our jewelers we have Maxon's Jewelers that does the live auction. Then we have Justice Jewelers that does these really awesome, fun keys that the people can buy a key. And then if your key fits in the lock, you'll get one of two really incredible options. Last year, there was a ring, and whoever won the ring turned around and then proposed. It was the most wild thing. It's crazy. And then we have, I know that one thing one group I want to really, really give a shout out to is our presenting sponsor, Meridian Title Company. I have met, and I've been using them ever since I became a real estate agent 10 years ago. And they are just fantastic. And they have been our presenting sponsor for many, many, many years. And they've been a longtime sponsor because Randy Donig also previously owned Meridian Title Company. And when he sold it, the family that took over continued that on and stepped up by constantly donating and attending. And they've just been wonderful, wonderful to us. And so Meridian Title Company is one of the best longtime supporters that we have had for many, many years.
Very good. I'm glad that you're having such success. I wish you continued success. And one more time, let people know where they can go to find out more information and help you guys out.
Okay, so go to springfieldblacktie.org, and that's where you can find our contact information. That's where you can find things where you can donate. You can reach out to us for many things. And our event is November 16th at the Oasis Convention Center here in Springfield.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for sharing. You can watch, listen, find out more. Link over to all platforms from runradio.net.